A lot of anime antagonists are just the same. Meruem, Obito, Makima, Lucius, Pain, Madara, Eren, and many more. Whilst the methodology of these characters may differ, the thesis and philosophy are near enough always the same. This is one, if not the most overplayed trope with anime antagonists: broken souls with ingenuous and radical formulas for world peace. I made that sound so sophisticated in a way, bro, and I just did. I just did, bro. But with so many antagonists following this archetype of wanting world peace through super extreme methods, the ones that don't stand out so much more and are infinitely more enticing. Whilst there is a distinct difference between an antagonist and a villain, a lot of these guys are still villains by definition. A villain is someone who carries out evil actions that are important to the plot in spite of their intentions. And a lot of the guys that I mentioned and ones that I haven't have partook in their fair share of evil actions in attempts to reach their goals. Now, I'm not saying any of these antagonists are bad. Even my favorite character within anime, Light Yagami, fits into this description. But at least with Light, he has a god complex and equivocal motives that make his version of this different, with him more so longing to be a god more than a staple of peace. But maybe I'm just trying to make excuses for my favorite character, who knows? Personally, if someone is going to be a villain, I like mine to be complete contumacious evil. The best example of this is my personal favorite and arguably the best villain in anime, Johann Liebert. Monster was at its best when Johann was present. Seeing a character with no moralistic views on the world and instead being increasingly inquisitive and just plain evil, which is shown with everyone calling Johann the devil, and having very unconventional goals compared to other antagonists, this all accumulates to him being a top tier character, especially because unlike other antagonists that have had bad things happen to them or witnessed bad things, didn't decide he would strive for a better world, but instead something new and fresh that consumers have never seen and still haven't to this day. There are other examples in new gen anime of two villains that are just complete evil. And even if you don't like them as much as I do, I don't think you can call them bad, with one of them even having potential to be a top 10 villain in anime. As well as them both being more enjoyable due to their evil nature, I have All For One and Sukuna, two characters who are the living embodiment of evil. And because of this and their actions that help prove the point of them being evil incarnate, they become so much more enjoyable to watch. I mean, just look at Sukuna as soon as he awoke in Yuji. We didn't need a sad backstory or a soliloquy on world peace to know he is going to be him. And Sukuna's moments within the manga and anime are so much more enjoyable than these other antagonists. Even antagonists that do fall under this trope that I'm speaking about, like Madara, the main talking points of his character weren't his goals and ideals. Instead, it was his savage and incorrigible actions. I don't know, to me it just seems when writers come up with backstories for big bad main villains, the default mindset they give them is to fix the things that have given them trauma in the past, and as a consequence, for some reason, this extends to the world. There are too many instances within anime when a villain is about to be beat and their backstory starts playing, or they reveal their true goal and it's just the same thing. Like, okay, we get it. And while these characters do have good writing, there is other ways to make well-written antagonists, and they don't have to want world peace, with Johann being better written than near enough all of them. This is partially why I like One Piece antagonists so much and think they are super overhated, and the main ones within the story are actually very good. Because they're all different, and only really Big Mom having a semblance of the goal for world peace, and everyone else dreaming of completely different things that bring something new and that we haven't seen a lot or at all, such as Eneru and Dolphy. Whilst there are of course other tropes that some anime antagonists do follow, I think this one is one, the strongest, and two, the most overplayed. And I think this is making certain antagonists lack originality. But what do you guys think of this? How did I phrase it?
Broken souls with ingenuous and radical formulas for world peace.
Subscribe for more, all that algorithm nonsense, and peace.